So yeah, like if you can you just take me through some of the technicals now around where we're at with maybe gold first, but I'd also love to hear your views around where we're at with silver currently at all time highs. And I'm having to look at my silver coin here right now, just wondering when it's actually going to be worth something after all these years.
I think good news for you on that. That's why I say I'm not all doom and gloom. So this is the gold chart. I'll take the BLS as in inflation rate at heart. I don't trust it at all, but I would prefer shadow stats. But we'll take that, and I'll highlight to you that in terms of the 80s, we haven't yet met the $800+ high in adjusted for inflation rate statistics. That's up top
Interesting.
here.
Right. So we're getting close to it, but we're not quite at the inflation adjusted high from the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, and I
Interesting.
will tell you in my take that that is deeply undervaluing the true rate of inflation. As it is designed to do, they don't want you to know the degree to which they're debasing you because it's a tax on you, and they don't want you to know that the cost of living hardship they are bringing about, the degree that they're bringing it about to you. So remember,
Yeah.
governments are inherently hiding their great trick. The great trick is inflation is in taxation. And of course, it allows them to fund boondoggles where there's a disproportionate degree of politicians and other self-enrichment, arms dealers, etc., pharmaceutical industrial complex, etc. So this is still really quite early doors. And if you divided that, as I say, by other things, such as the S&P, for example, and if you look at hedge fund holdings, I'll just clean my face up a bit there, you can see how relatively low this is. This is 1937.
Wow.
33, sorry, depression.
What's this measuring, Francis? Just for those that might be listening and
Yes,
not looking
so
at this.
yes, of course. So we are dividing gold by the Dow Jones to see
Okay.
what percentage relative to market cap of the Dow Jones gold holdings are. And this
Okay.
is very early on a turn. You're at
Mm,
chronic lows at the late 90s millennia, turning of the millennia. And that was the 80s,
right.
1.1. So the
Got it.
total market cap of gold was 1.1 times the Dow Jones total market cap
Got it.
back then. You're at 8%, 0.08 at the moment.
Yeah. So this is kind of just showing the relative amount of value that's sitting in the Dow Jones compared to gold and how it's starting to turn, basically, right?
Yes, you would have to go up 13 or 14 times to match 1980.
Wow. We're miles off.
Yeah, relative to equities. By the way, don't forget that could also be the Dow Jones going down. That doesn't mean 13 or 14 times just on the gold price.
It's
Uh,
relative. Yeah.
yes, so
Yeah.
this is a relative valuation when you're dividing by it. And I mean,
Sure.
silver is more acute. So I mean, if I throw silver on there and leave it divided by the Dow Jones, you've really just started.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what you're basically saying is that when all of this goes down, we're we're going to see gold run first and then silver later, which makes sense, right? But you've kind
Yeah.
of I haven't seen it like this before, but you're kind of showing it from a different aspect, just how early we potentially are in the cycle. Because I've spoken to other people who have indicated that, yeah, we're definitely at pretty high levels right now with gold, but don't be surprised for a significant pullback. We might even be this might be it for the cycle even. But
Yeah.
what I'm seeing here is that the party's just getting started, really.
Yeah. So again, you can't find a bigger bull on precious metals than me. And these valuations pointed out. By the way, as I say, half this can be in the Dow Jones losing 50% too
Sure. Sure.
over 5 7 years. And even if it didn't lose 50%, it lost 25%, but the dollars lost a third in value. The overall buying power of the Dow will have lost over 50%. In other
Right.
words, if you sold it today, what could you buy? And then in 3 years' time, if we've had a 25% correction, the dollar's also lost 30, and I would measure the dollar against not other fiats, but again against gold.
Right.
Dollars lost value, etc. By the time you work out the real.